I don't want no one, yeah, questioning man's commitment to this boxing thing, blood. Because on Saturday, I flew all the way to Portugal. Well, on Friday, I flew all the way to Portugal for my boy's wedding. Shout out J-Rock and Melissa. Beautiful wedding in Portugal. And then, when it come to a certain time in the evening, man, had my little alert on my phone. Man, scurried away to the corner and streamed the Eubank and Smith fight. Do you know what I mean? Which I would have liked to do on the channel, but obviously is what it is. But again, quick reminder, we will be doing the Canelo fight live on the channel as well. But yeah, bruv, I was with Rance. Shout out Rance and Bants as well. He'll be featuring on the channel at some point. And we were beefing all through the wedding. We're just cussing each other. Because I told him, Liam Smith's going to beat Eubank. Liam Smith's going to beat Eubank. He was like, no, Eubank's my guy. And I'm telling you, he's going to knock him out. Eubank's going to win by knockout. I was like, bruv, Eubank is not winning by knockout. Do you know what I'm saying? It's not going to happen. He's going to win by knockout round 9 or 10. So the 8th round comes, and obviously, like, Smith is just getting pieced, bro. I mean, he's just getting outworked, Bro,
he's just getting
he's getting whacked up, lad. And I see someone come bustling through the crowd. I can see all the bridesmaids and that dancing inside this little gazebo outside. Yeah. So I can see someone, all the guests are getting just moved out the way. And through comes Rance going, you pussy, I told you. What did I tell you? What did I tell you, blood? Round 9.
Man saying, I told you, man.
I told you, man. I know boxing, you know. I told you. I was like, this guy, here we go. Do you know what I mean? But he was right. He got it right. I didn't see it coming. I didn't see that performance
100%.
coming.
I think, and I've said this before, like, I think that's the best performance I've ever seen of Eubank. Like, and to be honest,
that is the best performance.
To be honest,
it's either that or Yildirim. And
no. The reason why
you got to look at the level of opponent. You got to look at that was the best technical performance.
Why I don't rate the Yildirim performance as highly is because I saw one gear against Yildirim. I didn't really see much mental application. He was just a better fighter. So like he went my skills versus your skills, and I'm not going to transition through it. You could basically say that he could have bombarded Liam Smith the same way he bombarded Yildirim, but you could see there was a process, like he was thinking his way through it. Personally speaking, before the fight, I was torn because I literally didn't know what Eubank was going to show up.
Yeah.
Honestly speaking.
And you never do.
Never do. Honestly speaking, the reason why I was never confident that Liam Smith was going to win again, and I would say if you put a gun to my head, I'd have probably said Liam Smith, just because I didn't know what Eubank was going to win. But Liam Smith is a limited fighter. No matter who, and the thing is, I'm hearing so many people say so many things like, oh, Liam Smith didn't turn up. I'm like, bro, Liam Smith does what Liam Smith does. Liam Smith has never had great lateral movement. He's never had great defense. Bro, I saw flipping Eubank land a double backhand uppercut. He landed 2 right uppercuts in an orthodox position in a row, bro. That is ridiculous.
The thing with Liam Smith is that he's never been a great boxer. Liam Smith is a classic fighter. He's game. He's got some boxing skill. I'm not gonna say he's got no boxing
he's
skill,
limited.
But he's more of a fighter.
If you're gonna stand there, then cool, you're gonna give him a chance. But then even there, I've seen him limited because like when he fought Jaime Munguia beat him up. When he fought Canelo beat him up. Now I know Eubank isn't on a Canelo level, but at the same time, we saw in the first fight, the first 3 rounds, Eubank was outboxing.
It's like you said, it's all mental. We know nobody disputed that Eubank is a better athlete than Liam Smith.
You can't argue
He's faster, he's stronger, he's more athletic, he's more stamina, more. Do you mean all that kind of stuff? If you put these 2 guys into any other sport from beginning where they don't know anything about the sport, Eubank's probably going to be the better person at that.
It's just
sport.
the mental side of things.
But it's the mental side, it's the discipline, and it's how do you apply that athleticism? Anthony Joshua is a better athlete than Andy Ruiz, but Andy Ruiz beat him in a boxing match because he applied that athleticism the wrong way. You can make the same argument about maybe Yard versus Beterbiev, who's a better athlete, possibly Yard. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, potentially.
But he doesn't apply that the right way, and ultimately he loses. And that's where Chris Eubank has always had that problem. And then working with trainers that either try to apply his style the wrong way, or we always hear these mixed messages coming out of the camp if he doesn't listen and he's lacking discipline. So we had to go with someone who is considered one of the best trainers because he was with Roy Jones before, who is one of the pound-for-pound greats of boxing, but not one of the pound-for-pound greats of training.
Of course.
So now he's with one of the great trainers. He has to listen. He saw that performance that Crawford put on Spence, and it was a very, very similar performance.
I mean, for one, Liam Smith, I do have to double back. Liam Smith's defense in that fight was horrible.
Yeah.
I mean, he made
It wasn't
Eubank,
non-existent.
but he made Eubank's jab look like Larry Holmes, bro. This guy was landing jab at will, bro. Just bam, bam. Every time he was throwing a jab, it was landing. Personally speaking, Mac is that guy who, as I was saying in the previous video, mentally he's gonna keep you there. Like this guy goes through he goes through the gears with his coaches, bro. Like the funniest thing is, a lot of the things that I accuse Keyshawn Davis of, which Keyshawn Davis is a Mac fighter, Eubank used to do, in the sense that just fight at one pace, rely so much on athleticism, so much on speed, and you don't see him go through the process. Mac is a coach who, bruh, you got certain coaches who's just going to tell you to put something in the microwave, cook, done. Mac is a coach who's going to tell you to season your food, put it in the oven at this temperature. He's going to take you through the process. So you look at it, Eubank at every stage of the fight, you could tell he was being guided through, and he needed that, because even the round where he hurt him and he dropped him, it looked like he was going to get him out of there. Next round, Mac said he weren't ready yet. You got to take it through the paces, and he slowed Eubank down.
That meat.
Thank you, bro. And when have you ever seen Eubank do that? That comes from respect. Like he respects Mac's opinion.
My annoyance is somebody who's not a Chris Eubank fan. I'm a George Groves fan, obviously West London stand-up.
I went to that fight.
Did you go to that fight? Really?
Yeah, that was the first World Boxing
that.
Super Series fight I ever watched.
Yeah, I remember that. You couldn't get him out of there, and Groves had one arm. That's my guy. But I trained with Groves before as well. Yeah, in the Grenfell gym. But yeah, the problem that I have with this is this narrative. He's now regardless of what happens going forwards, he's always going to have this narrative over his name of, if Chris Eubank was with Mac earlier, he could have been this. He could have been that. He could have beat Canelo. He could have, you know what I mean? Like his fans are so like fanatical about him. They're like, because he's what is he, 31?
Maybe like 33 now.
Yes, he's an older fighter. Not older.
No, he's older. He's an older. He's past his prime.
He's just past his prime, and now he's getting that his prime skill set, his prime performance. He'll believe that he can keep going, but I ain't trying to hear all that, because part of what makes you a good fighter is that discipline, is that relationship. Do you know what I mean? You want to foster that relationship early. So I know that's the narrative that's going to come, but I was very, very impressed with that performance. I didn't see it coming. Liam Smith. Liam Smith knew as well, like he knew, because once he started getting hit with that jab at will, by round 2-3, he pretty much stopped fighting back. I was surprised the fight went as long as it did.
Long, bro. My man was.
He weren't fighting back.
Fam, my man just looked like he didn't care at some stage.
No, he didn't get. But I think that, like, I don't know if you've ever been in your fight in your life, street fight, where you've thrown a punch from the gods, and it's just landed clean on a man's chin, and you're like, ha. I've hit him clean, but that was my best punch. I've hit this guy clean. Like his ancestors are going to feel that punch. And he just wipes that off, blood. And you think, I'm going to go home, blood. How do I get out of here as quickly as possible? But once you know you can't do no damage to this guy, it's over.
You know what's ironic? Because for me, in a way, Liam Smith sly quit as well. In a way.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's why I agree with you.
I'm not saying he quit in terms of he didn't come out to fight.
He stayed in there. He
stayed in there, but mentally he checked out of that fight.
Yes.
And I know, I'll say directly down the camera to all the Smith brothers. You don't have a reputation of being hard men. All about
that. They're scousers as well, right?
Yeah, he didn't leave that fight like, okay, let's leave it all out on the line. And some say he may be injured, and if he is injured, then I'll take that back, and maybe you're just injured and you couldn't fight. But if you had stuff left in the tank and you just let this dude beat you up, and bro, at times he was making, as you said, making him look like Crawford, bro.
He was covered in more blood than sweat. So I'm saying there's a saying in boxing, you don't want to be covered in more blood than sweat. Facts, I mean, you got pieced and you didn't really, and that's why he came out and said, I'm not going to make any excuses, and then made a bunch of excuses, because Rance knows Chris personally. They're brethren. And in the first fight, I was like, your boy's dusted. He's dead, blah, blah, blah. And Rance said to me, he's weight drained. I said, oh, what kind of excuse is that? He goes, bro, he was so weight drained for the Ben fight that he wasn't prepared to fight someone like Smith, because it was like he was preparing for that. So that's what was happening. And then obviously Liam Smith comes out and says, well, I was weight drained this time. Do you know what I'm saying? And
the truth is, again, with this weight drain thing, for one, I don't understand how Smith can be weight drained when he's fought his whole career at 150, 154, and now you're moving up to 160. I don't know how you're weight drained, but you move on. Somewhat, but you know that runs in the family though.
Yes.
That runs in the family. Let me tell you why that runs in the family. Because I swear Paul Smith, his older brother, he moved up a weight class to fight Andre Ward, and he missed weight on his way up. So it must run in the family. Moving on past.
And Callum Smith was a weight bully for most of his.
Bro, 99.9% of his career. This guy was walking at 168. Bro, this guy was like 6'6", walking at 168.
He's a cruiserweight.
Literally.
Yeah.
But in terms of Liam Smith, bro, that's not a good enough excuse for me. Just like for Eubank saying it wasn't a good enough excuse. For me, I look at it more like, and I'm not just saying it because it's Eubank, it's more what Eubank saying. It was a shot from the gods, bro. Because he was cooking you in the first couple rounds. You landed a good shot. You had him out of there. You got knocked down. You got knocked out. Clean. You won that fight fair and square. You ran it back and you got cooked, bro. He just continued the cooking.
Yeah.
You're one round.
That fight looked like the first fight, but if you never landed that punch.
Exactly.
But I performed better. I performed a bit better. But
I just didn't give you the opportunity to land that shot on me. That's basically what it was.
Yeah.
Because Smith can't box, bro. He can't box, bro.
I think, that's the thing. He struggled to, once he knew that shot wasn't coming easy, I think he didn't put everything into, he didn't even have the variety to try to set that shot up.
Nah,
you know what I'm saying?
100%.
You know, Smith is more, like I said, we know Smith hits harder than Eubank, I think, personally. I think Smith hits harder. Eubank is not known.
On a single, yeah.
On a single.
100%.
So he's gone in there looking for a single. And Chris has not gone in there looking for a single.
But I also feel like there's a certain level of, I give Eubank credit for this, there's a certain level of mental toughness to go in there against a dude who's knocked you out and say, you know what, I'm going to take this style. There was no lack of confidence in this fight.
Yeah.
He had full confidence. Like at no stage that, even when Smith did try and be aggressive, there was no stage where he was like, yeah, boom. I'm worried about what he's coming back at us. He was fully confident all the way through. So,
and at this stage in his career, I don't think Eubank's looking for belts, legacy. I think it's a money thing, which is fine. I ain't got a problem with that.
What fights are out there for him?
Ben in Saudi.
Ben, obviously he said Kell Brook, but Kell Brook's done.
Nah, Kell's always, because Kell was the guy for a moment in British boxing anyway at that
I would
at that
have
weight.
seen him versus Golovkin. Eubank versus Golovkin.
It's an interesting fight.
Golovkin's cooked enough to the point where Eubank actually does stand a chance.
And Golovkin's got enough in the tank to make it competitive.
Yeah, exactly.
The Brook fight's not going to be competitive.
No.
He's always going to get called out, but he's easy. He's an easy call out.
I actually think Golovkin would be a really good fight. I think if he goes a step further, like...
But how much money has to, for everything Golovkin's done in his career, how much money has to get generated to get them both out of bed?
That's a good point still.
I don't know.
Man just come off the Canelo fight. He ain't even fought since the Canelo fight. Man got a big piece of food, so...
Yeah. Doing so to come out for that fight. I don't know what other fights.
It's probably the biggest. It's probably the biggest money fight for
bigger than Ben
Golovkin.
For Golovkin. What weight is Golovkin at?
160.
Okay, I thought it was 168. Yeah, maybe.
Probably, unless
no big. I was gonna say Charlo,
but Charlo ain't fought in 2 years, fam. Man's out here fighting his wife.
Like Anthony, blood. He's like Anthony for you, man, blood. Well, God.
Anthony don't play for Man United, fam. He plays for Man United's Paralympic team, fam.
Oh, you
one-footed football player, bro. Man's a Paralympian, bro. I can't have them man there playing for Man United, bro.
You man replaced an abuser with an abuser, blood. I don't know what's up with your club. It's a circus, guys. But anyway. That's the whole outreach. You know what I mean? Them man need to do celebrity boxing, bro. You know what I'm saying? It's peak. Anthony versus Greenwood. Anthony versus Greenwood,
bro. They're moving like Keith Thurman, bro. They're gonna fight.
I'm done. Hey, Clarissa Shields against Anthony. I'd watch that fight.
Bro, Clarissa Shields will back.
That's what I'm saying.
Bro, you mad?
100%.
Bro, she'll punch him
up.
100%. All this guy will try and do is cut in, fam.
Yeah, 100%. Step overs in the ring, blood.
Literally, fam.
Nah, man. But yeah, listen, that Eubank fight was very impressive. Facts. Very, very impressive from his coach as well. And I think that deep down, he'll be kicking himself and thinking, if only I'd done this a few years earlier. But it is what it is. You know, there's a Golovkin fight, there's a Charlo. I want to see him fight Charlo.
Charlo ain't fought in.
It don't matter. That's his problem. Remember the motto: the easiest fights for the most money.
Facts.
There's a belt there.
They both
You know what I'm
got a
saying?
belt each.
So,
They both got a belt each.
There's belts. What belt does Eubank have?
No. Charlo versus Golovkin.
No, I'm talking about Eubank versus Charlo.
Oh, Eubank versus Charlo was a good fight.
That's what I'm saying.
That fight was close to happen because I remember when Eubank fought on Charlo's undercard, he fought Matt Korobov. And I remember he signed to PBC. I thought that fight was going to happen, but then I don't know what happened.
Because he'll be looking at it right now thinking, how do I get legacy? How do I get this? I think.
Money.
Money, belt. I think, obviously, if he gets the belt, that's going to add more money to the pot.
That's why I don't understand the Kell Brook fight.
There's a Golovkin. I don't want to see him fight Kell Brook because Kell Brook is going to win, but not prove anything.
What?
No, sorry. Eubank's going to win, but not prove anything. It's like years ago, I watched Eubank versus De Gale. And all my boys like, yeah, Eubank, my boys are like, they're like, Eubank's good. I was like, yeah, I don't like Eubank. I think he's average at the time. It was like 2015, 2016.
I knew Eubank.
I was like, he's average. I was like, he's average. They were like, oh, so you think De Gale's going to win? It's like, no, Eubank's going to win, but that doesn't prove anything. De Gale was finito, bro.
I knew De Gale was finished when De Gale won his belt back and refused to defend it. He just relinquished it. So I was like, yeah.
That's what I'm saying. So, that he beat Kell Brook, but it wouldn't prove anything. I think a Golovkin fight's really interesting. 100. It's a benchmark fight. A Ben is really interesting for like British legacy.
I wouldn't mind a Charlo fight.
And a Charlo fight, I think, for a belt. Those are the 3 fights that I would.
I mean, he could fight Charlo in America, fam.
That's what I'm saying.
Mac wouldn't need to leave. He could carry the strap.
100%. Get the strap. 50 cent. Get the strap, fam. But yeah, man, those are the fights I want to see. What is next, in you guys' opinion, for Chris Eubank Jr., Liam Smith? I don't know where he goes from here. I really don't.
No, fam, my man needs to.
It was a bit of an exposing fight. I'm not gonna lie.
Well, not for me, because I always thought the brother was limited. I just never thought he would go out like that.
That's what I'm talking about. The fact that he went out like that is what's exposed him, because he's known to be backs against the wall. He's gonna come out swinging. Let's have it. That got taken away from him.
Facts.
And when you see that get taken away from someone,
Eubank, fam.
Yeah, like
man didn't even fight a flipping like you'd have thought if he fought like a Charlo, or someone at that level, you'd have thought. Maybe,
that's the only reason Spence can get out. That's what I'm saying. That's the only reason Spence can get out of bed again, because that performance was against a GOAT fighter.
No, but even we're gonna get into that next though. So yeah. Just stay tuned, bro. I was going to get into the Spence thing as well.
Listen, if you want to hear about the Spencer Crawford rematch, go on to our other video. It's going to be on the channel. Depending on when it's coming out. Might be on the channel tomorrow. But listen, like, subscribe for all boxing content right here on Nick J. Francis. We're out.
Love.